it's just, again, if you're someone that remembers the 90s, as someone that was around as a, young teenager at the time, I thought it was a really enjoyable trip back to that time.
I think it's very directly comparable as well, lads. With,
good music too.
Another sports piece that's come out in the last few years about the mid-90s, and that's The Last Dance. Like, this is Beckham's attempt, much like Michael Jordan, to say, actually, you know what? I was a lot better than maybe you remember I was as well, because they show the documentary, what am I going to call it? The series starts off with the best goal he ever scored, which is the one against Wimbledon, which is the perfect starting point. And then in various different stages, even with Real Madrid when they won the league in the year where Capello dropped him out of the team, it's almost made out as if Beckham was the driving force for Madrid getting back into the title race, and they almost won it for him while he was on the bench in that last game against Mallorca when they lifted the title, which is obviously being quite playful with history. And certainly they skipped forward quite a bit with the end of the Galacticos era to make it look like this was the last burning embers of it at a time when many of those players had already left the club. So it takes a lot of liberties from that point of view to make it look like Beckham is always so central and the most important thing about the story.
Yeah, it's nowhere near Last Dance in that regard, because Last Dance is one, it's indisputable that Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time, and that everything he did is, there's nobody kind of saying, oh, this is just what he thinks. It's more like, what the hell were you worried about Draxler for? Do you know what I mean? You were so much better than him. It's why you're so crazy, and he's not self-aware enough to hide that in his documentary, so people, or his film, sorry, that's why that's so good. Whereas Beckham, I absolutely think that the biggest flaw of it, but again, if I take my point of not thinking it as a documentary and more as a film, is this idea that he was like the only reason that Manchester United were winning leagues, and that England wouldn't have even qualified for the World Cup without him. And it's not that he wasn't effective or brilliant even in those teams, but the idea that he was above everybody else is ludicrous,
Yeah.
And it's for an audience that doesn't know better.
I think it is very much for a younger audience, maybe perhaps, who don't know better, and they're shaping history a touch, yeah.